Hello and welcome to the next podcast in this series about projects that are part of the Interstate 81 Corridor Improvement Program in Virginia. My name is Jason Bond and I'm the Communications Manager for the Virginia Department of Transportation in the Salem District. In this podcast, we will be talking about a large-scale project that is currently under development that will widen a little more than 7 miles of I-81 in Roanoke and Botetourt counties. Joining me today to provide some information about this future widening project is Alex Vandyke, a senior transportation engineer in VDOT Salem District, along with I-81 Program Delivery Director Dave Covington. Thank you both for being here. So Alex, I understand that design work is underway for another I-81 widening project in the Roanoke area. What can you tell us about that project?
Our next major project will widen both directions of Interstate 81 between Interstate 581, which is at exit 143 in Roanoke County, and Route 220, which is at exit 150 in Botetourt County. I-81 will be widened from 2 lanes to 3 lanes in each direction, with most of the widening planned to take place in the median, although there may be outside widening at some locations. As part of this project, 7 bridges will be replaced, including the pair over Bellhaven Road, the pair over Reservoir Road, and the pair over Tinker Creek. The bridge over Route 220 on northbound I-81 will also be replaced. In addition to the bridges, the project includes installing new overhead signs and adding interchange lighting at exits 143, 146, and 150. A noise study will be performed along the entire project to identify potential locations where sound barrier walls might be installed in accordance with state and federal standards.
So Dave, what is the schedule for this project and how much is it going to cost?
Yeah, those are 2 big questions, right? I'd like to start with the cost because I think that's what all the taxpayers would like to know. So recognizing that this project is in the early stages of design, our current cost estimate for the project is more than $300 million. So that makes this one of the largest projects within the I-81 Corridor Improvement Program. In addition to being among the largest projects from a cost perspective, it is also one of the most complex projects. Construction is expected to begin in 2025 and is anticipated to be completed within 5 years, so completion should be approximately 2030 at this point. While this seems like a long duration for a project, the complexity of the project is really driving the project schedule, and we'll talk a little bit more about that as we move forward in the podcast.
So Alex, what is happening on this project right now?
So right now, we're still in the early stages of design. Our field data collection is ongoing as our project team is currently surveying as well as drilling to gather soil and rock samples. The team is also developing designs for the widened roadway and the 7 bridges that will be replaced. So VDOT will schedule a public hearing to share more details about the project at the appropriate time. Because the project is still in the early development phase, the schedule will be revised as design progresses.
So Dave, what makes this project different from other widening projects along the I-81 corridor?
Yeah, and as I mentioned previously, this is one of the largest projects that we currently have in our program for delivery. This project is approximately 7 miles in length, and it's located in an urban setting within Botetourt and Roanoke counties, and it's one of the most heavily traveled sections of I-81 in Virginia. The travel way station is at mile marker 149, and that creates numerous challenges for both design and construction, and will require extensive coordination with the Department of Motor Vehicles, who owns and operates the way station. In addition, much of this portion of I-81 was originally built with concrete pavement, which has been overlaid with a few inches of asphalt over the years. The existing concrete pavement is beneath the asphalt, and it's aged and will need to be remediated in a logical manner that ensures a good lifespan of the new roadway structure. Given these multiple pavement types, asphalt and concrete, existing and proposed, engineers are working to determine the most effective way to deal with the existing pavement and the best materials and construction methods to build the new lanes next to the old lanes. And as Alex mentioned previously, the project will also involve replacing 7 bridges. The replacement bridges will need to be raised in order to meet current vertical clearance requirements for traffic beneath them. And this means that the new bridges will have to be taller than the current structures, or the roadway beneath them will have to be lowered. Either alternative presents challenges in maintaining traffic during construction. However, we will keep 2 lanes of traffic open on Interstate 81 throughout the duration of the project during daytime hours or heavy traffic volume hours, and only schedule lane closures during nighttime hours and outside of those peak travel times.
Will there be any major changes to the Id1 Interchange with I-581 as part of this project, Alex?
So the I-81 and I-581 interchange will not be reconstructed, and the northbound I-81 bridge over I-581 will remain as 2 lanes. On northbound I-81, the ramp coming from I-581 will become the new 3rd lane heading toward Troutville. On southbound 81, the new 3rd lane will become an exit-only ramp at the interchange with I-581. Additionally, some lighting will be installed near the ramps, but there's no plan to rebuild the interchange as part of this project. The reason for this is that there is a significant portion of the traffic on Interstate 81 that exits to I-581 in both the northbound and southbound directions. Therefore, the traffic models are telling us that a full 3 lanes within this interchange are not warranted.
So, Dave, why is the southbound Id1 bridge over Route 220 at exit 150 not being replaced as part of this project?
Yeah, it's an excellent question. And in a situation that we're trying to deal with right now, it would seem logical, but there are reasons. So when the I-81 Corridor Improvement Plan was originally developed, replacing the southbound I-81 bridge over Route 220 was being considered as part of a separate project. Unfortunately, that project ultimately did not get selected for funding in order for it to move forward in the initial round of the I-81 Corridor Improvement Program projects. However, the design team is evaluating this structure to determine if there are benefits to replacing that bridge as part of the project that we're discussing today, and what kind of impact that would have to not only the project budget, but also the project schedule. So it's something that we're looking to make sure that we address in a way that is logical and economical to ensure that we're using taxpayer dollars efficiently.
So how will traffic on I-81 be maintained during construction, Alex?
So most of the work is anticipated to be performed behind concrete barrier walls along the shoulders. 2 lanes of traffic will remain open in both directions on I-81 throughout the duration of the project. However, lane closures and slow rolls would be scheduled during nighttime hours or outside of peak travel times.
As we wrap up this discussion, is there anything else that you'd like to tell us about the project, Dave?
Yes, Jason, there is something that I'd like to point out. For anybody who has traveled this section of the corridor through the Salem and Roanoke area over the past couple of years, you've witnessed the construction for the widening of Interstate 81 northbound and southbound between exit 141 and exit 143. And that has been relatively painless as from a perspective of traffic. But I would like to point out that the project we're discussing today from exit 143 to exit 150 is quite a bit more complex. And I think there will be more disruptions to traffic, even though we're going to keep 2 lanes open during those heavy traffic hours. And I think one of the things that will be different is the number of bridges that we're replacing here. As Alex mentioned previously, we're replacing 7 bridges. That is a complex process to maintain traffic while we're replacing those bridges. So one thing that people will encounter here that they did not on the exit 141 to 143 project are some pretty significant lane shifts. So as we construct new bridge elements in the median and then move traffic over to those new elements, which will allow us to demolish portions of the existing bridge and complete the construction of those bridges, there are going to be shifts in traffic. Similar to the 141 to 143 project, you will be running adjacent to barrier wall, sometimes in rather close proximity. And then the concrete pavement that we mentioned before, whatever the ultimate solution is, and we have not completely resolved that yet, but there are several approaches that we can take to that existing concrete pavement. There's probably going to be a significant amount of grade change or elevation change of the roadway. So in order to build that up, again, we'll have to shift traffic around. So do expect to see some of that. And when you do encounter that, we just encourage you to please obey the speed limit. Staying in your lane is probably good advice, and just being very observant.
Well, it certainly sounds like this widening project will be a significant improvement for Interstate 81, and I really appreciate both Alex and Dave for sharing all this information today. For future podcasts, videos, and more information about the Id1 Corridor Improvement Program in Virginia, be sure to visit Improve81.org. And as always, we wish you safe travels.
Thank you, Jason.
Thank you.